Hey, what is up, everybody? Hey, I know it's been a minute. You guys haven't seen a video from me in a while, and I apologize. Just wanted to get on here real quick and give everybody an update on what's going on with me. You know, you see a lot of videos this time of year where everybody's kind of announcing where they're going to fish, what their plans are, all kinds of stuff. Selling boats, getting new boats, boats wrapped, all that stuff. So I figured, hey, I'm going to do a video to kind of give you guys an insight on what I've been doing, what my plans are, and what my expectations are, I guess, for myself for 2023. So before we get into that, though, I'd like to give some shout outs to some people that have done some stuff for me here recently and let me come onto their shows and talk fishing. And, you know, if you guys would, I'm going to put their links to their channels, either YouTube and Facebook or whatever social media platforms that they're on, so that you may go and follow them for me. So it's stuff like that that is so cool about the fishing community, because everybody that, you know, has the same love for this sport, you know, either at the competitive side or just recreational, it's like everybody wants to help everybody as far as like trying to get their name out there, you know, willing to talk to people, answer questions and stuff like that. So, you know, here recently during the off season, I guess you could call it, I got to go on with the Bass Geek. Many of you may or may not know the Bass Geek, Hank. He has an awesome channel, awesome YouTube, awesome Instagram, TikTok, all that. He does a really good job on the social media stuff. And he's kind of helped me with some ideas on things I can do to help maybe grow my channel. But we just recently did a YouTube podcast with him talking about wintertime fishing. So I'm actually going to put the link to his channel and that particular video in the description below. So if you guys want to watch that, you can. If you could, make sure you give the Bass Geek a follow, you know, drop him a like on that video, stuff like that, you know, that he sees that, you know, we're all kind of supporting each other. It helps. So also Burwell Angling, Burwell Fishing. I just recently did a podcast with him, Craig Burwell, on Lines In, talking all square bills, everything square bills. So it was kind of neat. That was my first time. Well, I guess this is my third time. I got to do a podcast earlier last year with Cortland Williams, but that was kind of neat getting to get on there and kind of talk fishing, talk my life, how I got to where I was at so far, you know, my where I want to be. So yeah, wanted to kind of get on here and tell those guys thank you. And there's a lot of other people I want to thank as far as like social media wise, sharing my posts and stuff. It seems like I've kind of been on an upward trend of getting followers on TikTok and, you know, Instagram, and people are messaging me and stuff. And, you know, I try to always make sure that if anybody messages me, I always try to write them back. If they follow me, I try to follow them back, all that stuff. I'm not that kind of person where I'm trying to get 1 million followers and have 3 people I'm following. I'm just not that way. But I guess getting on to the juice here, what you guys are watching this video about. As you can see, I'm in my truck. I'm actually in the school parking lot waiting to pick up Morgan from school. I thought this would be the perfect time to kind of get on here and give you guys an update. And so with that being said, you know, there's been a lot of changes in the fishing industry, you know, as far as the MLF has had changes where they went from the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit to the Invitationals. And there's changes there. The Opens have, you know, now changed everything to where you got to fish all 9 Opens to qualify for the Elites. And I know there's a lot of positive and negative conversations about that. And I'm not going to get into all the politics of it. You know, I have what I believe is right. And I think that's pretty neat that, you know, they're going to make everybody fish all 9, in my opinion, because I'm that kind of person that I understand that, you know, you can maybe only fish one, you know, division, you know, to qualify to have an invitation to fish the Elites. But just because you do good in one of those and you get it, doesn't mean that everybody's going to be like, hey, we found out you made the Elites, let's give you some money. It's just not how it works. And I've learned a lot of that this year, as far as, and I don't mean this in any negative way to any company. When, you know, and I'll be honest with you, and it's not me saying this in a negative way, because I'm very appreciative. Like with Dobbins Rods, I'm on Dobbins Rods Pro Staff. Dobbins Rods Pro Staff consists of a very good discount program. But, you know I got to earn my keep. Cross Industries donated this year to me for the 2022 season. Chaz and his wife over there, and I'm very, very appreciative of what they did for me. But even though if we don't continue in 2023, I understand it's business. And I guess what I'm getting at is when you get into this side of it, this side of competition, as far as competing at this level and you know, trying to make it, you know, trying to, you know, you're following my dream, you know what I mean? You're trying to get up there and can be considered a professional fisherman. And right now, I'll be honest with you guys, a lot of this that I'm doing, what you guys may or may not see, because I know I don't film everything, and I apologize, and we'll get into that, but a lot of this is out of my pocket. This is family helping me, it's friends, families, some company support, and it's tough. I mean, it's not just tough financially, but it's tough mentally, because you got to be mentally in it, because fishing is definitely 90% mental. And I've learned a lot this year. I've learned a lot, you know, fishing all these new bodies of water, you know, going to the Great Lakes. Never been on the Great Lakes. So competing for 3 days against some good people, some sticks. I mean, if you look at this year on the NPFL, I think they had 3 or 4 that qualified for the elites. So these guys can catch fish, and you gotta bring your A game with them. And I had a mediocre season. I cashed 1 check, missed a check a couple times on my own stupidity. But those are growing pains, and they're very expensive growing pains. And, you know, it costs you $5,000 to fish each event, plus your rooming. You know, even if you try to buckle it down and sleep in your truck, whatever, there's still fees, there's still costs there. Fuel, diesel, food. I mean, no way, however you cut it, even if you cut it to the very bare minimum and you eat peanut butter and you with your fingers because you don't want to buy a spoon, that's fine. But you're still, you're still going to have cost. You know what I mean? And you know, this year, Mom got to travel with me, and I'm very appreciative of that. And it was awesome to get to spend some time with her. Morgan got to go with us on a couple events. But, you know, I guess that leads me to what my conclusion was and what I was going to do. I'll be honest with you, I had to kind of step back, take a few to figure out what I could afford. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I had to wait to hear from my sponsors. And, you know, did I send out letters to different companies? Yes, I sent out several. Talk to people at ICAST, people that I met through this year of fishing, and, you know, social media wise, talking to them. And, you know, there's just not a whole lot of money going around, especially for somebody starting out. You know, everything is social media driven. You've really got to have, you know, that social media presence to really get a lot of companies to want to, you know, talk to you. I mean, that's just what I've gathered from it. I mean, it's a different industry than it was, you know, back in the day when you got Bill Dance and Roland Martin and Jimmy Houston, all these guys fishing. It's not the same industry. And it's because the sport has grown, and there's so many anglers, you know, looking to do the same thing. And you got limited companies that are in this industry, and, you know, people's been burned by people as far as giving people money. And I can respect all those things. And I know I got to earn my keep, but I also got to make sure I'm smart about what decisions I make, because this isn't a Halloween for me. What I mean when I say that, this isn't something I'm like, oh, I just want to, you know, I'll just buy myself in and, you know, buy me this, buy me that, and I'll just look the part and, you know, I'll be cool. You know, as long as I can pretend, I guess, to be a professional angler, I'm fine with it. That's not what I'm looking at. You know, I spent some money this year on the boat wrap and the truck wrap that I did to show these companies that I was working with that I'm not afraid to put skin in the game, okay? That I'm committed. And, you know, when I have a company that reaches out to me and says, hey, we'd like to work with you, even if it's small companies, okay, that say, hey, we'd like to do this or start out with this and see how it goes, that's a partnership to me, okay? And I'm a businessman, and I know how important those kind of conversations and how limited those conversations are. So I take all those to heart. So that's kind of what I did this year. I wrapped the boat, wrapped the truck, and kind of put it all out there as far as, you know, showing what I'm willing to do, you know, as, you know, with these companies. And I had some gainage from that, and not so much that I thought I was going to get, but to be honest with you, that's what it took. It took me trying to figure out what I was going to do, what platform I wanted to compete on. And to be honest with you, the thought of not competing at the level like I competed this year made me sick to my stomach. I remember having a conversation with Brad and, you know, explaining to him, and I don't mean this in a negative way, so please don't take it that way, but the only thing I could compare it to was somebody that was on drugs or something. I've never been on drugs, none of that, but, you know, almost like out here scratching my neck trying to figure out how I'm going to be able to continue to fish at this level, because I know it. You know, you can't base everything off 1 year, and I really wanted to see what I could do in order to continue to try to, you know, boost my social media, boost my name. Where was the best place to put my money to have my money work for me? My ROI, my return on investment, as far as an individual in an organization, because you're investing. When you're at this level and you're paying out of pocket, or even when you have sponsors paying, you're taking that sponsor's money and you're investing in what you think is the best option for you and those companies. And it took some time. It took a lot of time for me to sit back and try to figure out what I wanted to do. And deep down inside, I know what I want to do, but I had to make sure that I put my feelings aside and made the right decision. And getting into that, I've decided to fish again with the NPFL in 2023. I just feel like this is where God wants me to be. I feel like this is where I need to be. I feel like I need to continue to compete at this level with these guys. They do an awesome job showcasing the angler and the companies that work with the angler, as far as the pull-in, you know, the drive-up weigh-ins with the truck and boat. Tanner and Travis, the twin visuals that, you know, do all the social media stuff for the NPFL. They do a good job. They're down-to-earth people. Everybody in the league, the ownership crew's all down-to-earth, and they're willing to help you. So, like, if I was to go to Tanner and say, hey, I got a company, I want to, you know, next stop, can we do like a 10-second little thing? Absolutely. They're about that, and I think that's awesome. And I'm not saying you couldn't probably get that same love from other organizations, but I don't feel like it would be the same to me. I just feel like, you know, people tell you, go with your gut. What does your gut tell you need to do? My gut's telling me I need to fish with the NPFL for 2023, okay? It's the schedule. They got an awesome schedule. I've kind of cut my teeth now with this league, and I've built a huge amount of confidence in myself as an angler. I'm not saying that I'm going to go in 2023 and just crush it. You know, I want to, but there's an immense amount more confidence for next year than there was this year. There was a lot of nervousness this year. There was a lot of what ifs this year. There was a lot of self-doubt. I had a lot of self-doubt, and I just don't have that now. I know it's just been 1 year, you know, fishing at the pro level, but I'm ready for 2023. I feel like I've got a good schedule. I've got a good mindset. I'm working on other stuff. I want to be able to continue to compete at this level for many, many years. This is something I want to do, and I'm willing to do whatever I can to do it. My mindset is like that, and it's something I've been planning for many years. This isn't something I started last year and thought, oh man, it'd be cool to be a fisherman. No, it's just something I've been working on for a long, long time, and I'm not going to give up on myself. I've got an awesome family that supports me and backs me 100%. And I'll do whatever I got to do. If I got to go out here and get 6 jobs and work 78 hours a week to obtain what I want to obtain, I'm going to do it. If I've got to cut back and let go of some stuff in order to obtain, I'm going to do that. Because I feel like with what this year was like, I feel like I'm where God wants me to be. I feel like God has led me to this point, to this league, to this family, to compete at this level for a reason. And I think this year was the learning and hardship year as far as seeing how far I'm willing to go. And I'm not going to lie, there was a lot of self-doubt this year for me and a lot of questioning myself, but I don't know. I just had an overwhelming calm come over me and told me what I needed to do. It was almost like somebody was telling me, this is what you're going to do, this is what's going to happen, and this is what I need you to do. So I'm going to go with it, guys. I'm going to fish 2023 with the National Professional Fishing League, and we're going to see what happens. Like I said, if any of you guys may or may not know somebody that would be interested in a rolling billboard, We're going to be traveling all over the U.S., covering a lot of miles. There's going to be a lot of impressions. You know, you're talking millions of impressions down the road, on the water, possible coverage online, all that stuff. So I'll put my contact information in below. If you'd like to reach out to me, I'd love to talk to somebody. If not, we're still going to compete. So I wanted to get on here and give you guys an update. I'm going to be doing another video because I've got plans for next year. I've got plans and the goals I've set for myself as far as my social media, because it is something that I learned this year that you have to have. You can't just be on one platform. You got to be on all platforms, and you got to flood every one of those every second of every day. So there's going to be some sacrifices I got to make in order to do that, and I'm going to do them. So you guys are going to be seeing a lot more videos next year as far as the travel and all that stuff. I know I kind of skimped out on a lot of that stuff with you guys, and I apologize. I'm really surprised I didn't lose any followers off of it on YouTube and stuff, but I've got big plans on my YouTube channel, all that stuff. So I want to get in real quick. I didn't want to bore you guys with a long video, but I wanted to let everybody know, because I have been getting messages like, hey, guy, what are you doing next year? Are you fishing the league, or what are you doing? Just figured I'd go in here and make a video real quick while waiting to pick Morgan up and just give everybody an update. So if you have any comments or questions, drop them in here and I'll answer them. Like I said, I'm going to put my contact information in here. If you or you may know somebody that would be looking for somebody to represent them, driving all over the U.S., you know, we're going from Texas to Michigan and all over. So I'm willing to work with somebody, man. And I'll tell you right now, man, I may not have a lot of followers yet on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. I'm working on that. But I'll tell you one thing I got a lot of heart. And I'm set in what I want to do. So if one of you guys want to work with me, I'm committed. You know what I mean? I don't play games on that stuff. So, but yeah, just want to get in real quick and let you guys know what's going on. I know everybody else is doing this, and I figured I better jump the bandwagon here and just do the same thing. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys and gals that's followed along and commented and texted me and hoorahs and hey yeah and you suck and all that stuff through the year. But I'm looking forward to it, guys. I'm ready to kick off 2023 with a bang and just dominate. That's my plan. I'm going to dominate as much as I can. I'm going to, every minute, every hour I can be on the water, I'm going to be on the water during practice, and I'm not going to take anything for granted. So you guys just stay tuned, man. I appreciate you guys. See ya.